Hi, I'm Cassie Hagler. I did my 34 service hours at the Macon County Library in Franklin, North Carolina. Throughout this PowerPoint, I will be covering many topics. I will go over how the agency came to exist, its history, the population it serves, whether the funding is sufficient or not. During my time, I found out the problems that arise within the library, whether volunteers are important and what they do, and what is so unique about the library. I enjoyed my time at the library and will talk about whether I would have changed how they run, how it impacted me, and tell you about some interesting times that happened. When I was at the library, I interviewed several different ladies because they had more information on what they covered. And how the library came to be, I learned from Karen Wallace, who is the regional director of the Fontana Regional Library. She explained to me that the library was established by volunteers in the late 1800s, and once it started getting tax dollars was when it became the Macon County Library. The Macon County Library then joined the Fontana Regional Libraries in the 1950s, which at the time was only the Jackson and Swain County Libraries. But here in Macon County, the library is seen as less of an individual library and is more grouped up with the Fontana regional libraries. The main population of the library is everyone, which is unique to public libraries. The library serves all ages, education levels, income levels, etc. Libraries are government agencies, and a lot of government agencies have certain criterias when you can be able to walk through the doors. And this is what makes the population they serve unique. Teens and young adults are also unique to the Macon County Library. Libraries do see all ages, but for this one, it's unique because Macon Early College and Southwestern Community College are right in walking range. Like I said, the library sees all age range, but they also see spikes of retired people and children coming in. Problems that hamper the library from running smoothly is technology. When the system or Wi-Fi goes down, it turns into the dark ages. Everything has to be written down and kept track of. The library sometimes has system updates, and I was there for one of the big ones. The update is supposed to help things run smoother in the long run, but while it was happening, it was pure chaos. All they could do was check out books. They couldn't look anything up, check in books, or shelf any of the books coming in. Books were piling up in the back waiting to be checked in. And once the system came back up after the week, it was all hands on deck to get them ready to be shelved again. Karen Wallace also explained to me the library's funding. The library is funded mostly by county taxes and some money coming from the state. The Friends of the Library bookstore, which is run only by volunteers, helps bring in money by selling old books the library no longer uses or donations that they receive. This is a big source for the library, and so far this year it has helped raise $40,000. The library also gets some money from the fines it charges for checking things out like movies, and fees from late check-ins of books, puzzles, movies, etc. They also apply for grants, and grants do help out when they can receive them. Volunteers are a big help with saving money. They have people who come in to repair the books, and they can make a book look brand new with a little bit of work, which extends the life of the book for many years and they don't have to buy a new one. She explained to me that the funding is not sufficient. While they haven't been cutting money, there hasn't been an increase in that funding for 5 years. This is rough on the library because it causes them to have to lay off people and cut library hours to help balance this. If the library was able to get extra funds, she told me they would use it on staffing. The library could be able to make themselves more competitive with the salaries they could give and return normal library hours. Shifting, shelf rating, shelving, book repair, and disc cleaning are just some of the jobs volunteers do. Shifting is going down rows of shelves and moving the books down to other rows. And this makes room for more books when they do receive them. Shelf reading is organizing books on shelves and making sure they are in exact alphabetical order and catching any misplacements. These are the things I mainly did in my time there because there isn't enough staffing to do these things. It takes several hours to get through the whole section of a genre. This might not seem like a big deal, but it takes a lot of time to do these little things, and it's really important when people can come in and help. Volunteers are extremely important to the library. Sandy, my supervisor and office manager, explained that they get quite a few volunteers, and she's the one who has to keep up with the hours because they have to be put in to the state. And last year they had about 23 adult volunteers and they achieved 2,000 hours of volunteer work. This year they have had 22 so far, and because of the big event they had with the eclipse, they have 1,000 hours of volunteering so far. One of the things I found very unique about my agency is that they were big on focusing on things for kids to do and having activities set up for them. So I talked to Maggie Kennedy, who is the youth services assistant, and she explained to me that the library is big on focusing on the kids. The library has many groups and activities. Every month, they have a calendar printed of the activities that are coming up, and kids can grab them and keep them and put them on their fridge and see what's happening for the month and make sure that they come. They have clubs like Science Club where kids get to be hands-on and have fun while they learn. They have Lego Club, which allows the kids to build what they want, and then the library will display them until the next meeting they have, and they redo it. And then one of the coolest clubs, in my opinion, is they have Culture Club. It lets the kids travel to a different country. The kids watch a 20-minute PowerPoint and they do a little 20-minute craft, and then they get a snack from the place. And the people running the group will ask the kids questions and allows the kids to get a deeper learning experience and lets them see the similarities between the cultures, and they're not very different. The library is big on outreach, and one of the big things they do is they go to many schools around the county and they read to different grades once a month. I loved working at my agency. If they called me tomorrow and told me that I was in charge of the agency and I could change anything, I wouldn't change a thing. Everyone in the library likes working there and they enjoy getting to help the people. They enjoy seeing someone who comes in get what they need and light up because they got it, as well as helping people find the information and resources that they're looking for. The library makes sure to keep up with the trends and respond to the trends by requiring whatever it is. The library is so focused on the community and making sure they have everything they need, and I think that is really the most important thing about working with the public. I feel like I made the right choice in the placement site I picked. It helped show me that I do have a true interest in the human service field. It showed me how meaningful it is to do community service and how much help I can be to the services that could use an extra hand. It has helped me be able to reflect on the learning experience and how I am able to show responsibility. My time at the agency has shown me about enriching the community and that there are a lot of places that are always in need of the extra help and how grateful they can be when they do receive it. Overall, I enjoyed working in the library and getting to help the people who I feel enjoyed the experience as much as I did. I had a strong positive experience at the library, and it's an experience I will look back on in the future. Story time! The staff was really amazing, and I enjoyed working with them. Every day, I felt like I was valued by them. They were very inviting and loved that I was helping out around the place. Whenever I walked in, I was greeted so warmly, and I was constantly praised that I was doing a really good job. The front desk ladies would call the supervisor, as she had to let her know I was there. And sometimes they would say, like, our favorite is here. It was praises like that that made me feel like my time there was being really valued and appreciated. One of the other stories I have is I loved going to the library and seeing the people that came in. Everyone was so friendly, and whenever they were past you, they would always talk to you about something, anything, it didn't matter. And I was shelf reading one day, and this lady came into the aisles looking for a book. And I asked her if I could help her, and she said she was looking for a book on pinecone crafts. And I helped her look in the craft section to no avail. And she tried to tell me she looked on the internet, but she had trouble finding it because she wasn't very tech savvy. So I looked on my phone and see if I could find any, and we came up with the name of one of the books. And I told her, I was like, let's go to the front desk and see if they have this. But they didn't have that book, but they were able to find something based off this that was close. And she asked me to write down the name of the book I found, and I did. And she apologized to me for bothering me, but I was just really glad that I could help her get what she was looking for, and she was so appreciative of it, and it was just a really good feeling. I worked with a lady named Vicky a lot during my time at the library, and I did shifting for her while she was busy with meetings and helping people. And it ended up we needed to reshift because there wasn't enough room for what we planned. And I was happy to do whatever she needed, and I did my best to get it done the way hopefully she would want it. And I also helped her go through the biographies and pulled any books I didn't think were being read because we needed room there. And she later checked them to make sure they weren't being read and discarded them, which is something she told me that they would be sent to the friends at the library bookstore, which is really good. And I basically helped with whatever she asked me to help with, and just anything and everything, and was just gonna hope for it. And before I left, she ended up giving me a card, and I was really humble for it because I was not expecting that at all. And when I opened it up, I was so surprised that there was a gift card in it. And it just showed me she was so happy to have a volunteer there. And I just hope you guys go out there and you volunteer more. And I hope this experience just humbled you guys as much as it did me. And I just hope that everyone can make a big difference.